Now, a couple who had 3 children taken away from them and adopted have told Good Morning Britain of their renewed hope of having them returned.
Yes, Mark and Nicky Webster were wrongly accused of abusing their 3 eldest children. They haven't seen them since 2005, and they've been talking to this programme after we reported on Friday, of course, about the case of Carissa Cox and Richard Carter. Now, they are trying to get their child's forced adoption overturned. So let's talk to James Foster, who is a solicitor who forms part of their legal team. Very good morning to you. What are you planning to do today?
Well, at the moment we're in meetings about pursuing an appeal of this adoption to the High Court. It would be the family division of the High Court who would decide on this matter, but there has never been a case like this where the higher courts have overturned an adoption.
Just briefly remind viewers of the case of Carissa and Richard and what happened to their child.
Well, the case of Carissa Cox and Richard Carter, they had taken their baby to hospital 3.5 years ago, and they didn't see the baby after that. The baby didn't return home. It was alleged that they had abused the baby. The baby was adopted. There was then a criminal trial. It was thought that this baby had fractures, and at that criminal trial, the prosecution ended up dropping the case. A different expert came forward and said, actually, we can't be sure these are fractures. And so the case was dropped. But
too late for them to get their baby back.
Exactly.
Because they've been adopted, yeah.
So how do Mark and Nicky Webster think that this will help them then? Is it the fact that, you know, if all these families get together, there's a pressure of a group, in a sense?
Yes, well, the High Court has what we call an inherent jurisdiction to overturn a final order for adoption in exceptional circumstances. So here we are arguing that these are exceptional circumstances where this evidence has come to light from the Crown Court trial following the adoption already going through. So if we are successful in this appeal, then it may well pave the way for other parents who have had their children adopted to be successful in appeal.
How many cases do you think this applies to? I mean, how many parents are falsely accused of abuse, have to go through a criminal trial, but in the meantime lose their children because they are adopted, which, as you say, can't be overturned except in exceptional circumstances?
Well, I understand that it is more common than we think. The QC instructed in this case, Michael Turner, was discussing with me many other cases he's had in the same circumstances. And in this particular case...
Many other cases?
Yes, indeed. And in this particular case, what the prosecution was suggesting with fractures, the defence witnesses were saying this was a case of infantile rickets, a bone disease caused by low vitamin D. It is something which people thought had gone away for years, but is now back, and there doesn't seem to be much being done about it. And so it may well be other cases where they thought that these are injuries, they're fractures, well, actually, it was a vitamin D deficiency in infantile rickets.